have made it through January and February, the slowest, worst months of the year, babe. We are in March. We're on the 4th episode of the podcast. We have been busy, and we got a lot to talk about in this episode.
Thank goodness it's March. That's all I have to say. I'm so over January and February.
Yeah, they went by really fast though. We were talking today. We were like, "Holy cow, it's already March. This is crazy." But we are more than happy to get into spring weather with everything that's coming up. We'll be talking March Madness today. We're talking about some of the Athletes Unlimited basketball that we got to go see today. We've got the women's NCAA tournament where Shara and I are going to have some predictions. Now that it's March, we're going to give you our 5 teams that we think have the best chance to be crowned champion in both the men's and women's NCAA tournaments. We've also got our top 5 favorite workout songs. Obviously, there's a lot of great songs, and our playlists have hundreds of songs in it, but we decided to kind of look at the top 5 that seems to pop up while we're working out. And I don't even think we know each other's top 5. She may know mine. She always makes fun of me. She's like, dude, it's like so 2005. So we'll see. But no, babe, let's recap the weekend at least. I mean, Friday, we went to bed at 7:45 because our week was cram-packed with stuff. Just work was busy. We had doctor's appointments, both of us. You had a big event that we worked on a Monday night. It was just one of those weeks that we needed sleep.
Yeah, and also if you don't know, I have a Dexcom on my arm, and my numbers were all a little out of whack this week, and it kept us up Wednesday and Thursday night. I think we went off like 20 sometimes each night. So our sleep was like really out of whack for us. We are like true 8 to 9 hour sleep people. Like we feel the best that way. We know we function well. So we had a wild week when it comes to sleep too.
Yeah, I totally forgot that we didn't sleep for like 2 nights because that alarm kept going off. But nonetheless, we caught up on Friday. There was some amazing basketball games over the weekend. I know we saw a game winner. Tennessee beat Bama. Auburn took care of Kentucky. We saw Michigan State hit a game winner versus Maryland. Arkansas, unfortunately, got smacked on the road at South Carolina. And we're going to the game Tuesday night versus Vanderbilt here in Nashville. And they better not pull that crap while we're there because it's a 9 p.m. tip-off. It's already past our bedtimes. So if we show up and they look like they did on Saturday, not going to be very happy.
No, it'll be a long night, but we'll have a good time and we'll cheer the Razorbacks on. I'm excited to go to Vandy. I've never got to be out at their court before, so that'll be a nice opportunity as well.
Yep. Never been. The court always looks cool. Be repping this retro hog jacket that Shire got me a few months ago. She's got one and I got her. So yeah, we'll be there. They better play better than they did Saturday. For sure though.
Well, I think it was a 25-year worst, or I say a 25-year streak of the worst scoring.
It was our worst first half scoring half. Yeah, in 25 years.
I think it was 14 points. So it was like a junior high basketball game.
Yeah. And for a while, it looked like the second half was going to be even worse than the first half. So, had a buddy who was at the game. Unfortunately, he drove down for it. And that was, sorry, man, that was a bad game to be at. But hopefully we'll be at a good one on Tuesday and can get a big win because we need it for our tournament hopes. So, we'll see how that goes. But so that was yesterday. We watched a lot of basketball. We did go to a new bar here in Nashville called Skinny Dennis, which is in East Nashville. We were actually we can walk to it, which we did, and met up with some neighbors and friends, and we were impressed. We look forward to going back to Skinny Dennis, I guess, quite often because we can walk there.
Yeah, I think the original one is in Brooklyn, so it's totally gives really cool vibes. It hits all the Nashville country music style, but also just a really fun place for everybody to hang out in East Nashville. So very excited about it. And just a really cool, fun menu and great food there. So looking forward to spending a lot of time there over the summer since it's walking distance for us.
Yeah.
Also, Miller, our dog, is trying to make his entrance tonight on the show. He's already got the door open. He's right here going to talk to the pod. So just everybody know Miller is working really hard to get his first appearance on the show tonight.
We'll have to give him some screen time at some point so everyone
Yes.
can meet Miller. But no, Skinny Dennis was awesome. There was a line out the door. It was the grand opening, and at 6 p.m. on Saturday, I mean, there was a few hundred people. Like between 6 and 6:15, it was packed. So
Yep.
it was awesome. The music was great. The bartenders were awesome. So yeah, we look forward to going back. And then today, we finally went to the Athletes Unlimited. It was the final day of the tournament, and exceeded expectations. They've already announced that they're coming back to Nashville next year. So
Yep.
done deal. Not going to another city, coming back here. And I know you've been looking forward to this for a while. And we finally got there, and it definitely, we loved it.
It did not disappoint. And it's just really cool to see some of these athletes like close up. You're such a like small, I mean, you're so close to them. So it's just wonderful to actually get to watch them. And second of all, women's basketball is just taking off, and the skill and the athlete level of these women it was just awesome, to be really honest. I love seeing the growth in the sport. Actually, what was really cool there, the owner of the Sports Bra bar, which is in Portland, Oregon. It's a all women's sports watching bar restaurant. She was there today to kind of like celebrate women's sports. So if you didn't know, March is Women's Sports Month. I'm super excited about supporting it, as you can tell. Chris, he is a diehard women's sports advocate as well. So it's just really cool to see the growth, what's going on, and all kinds of sports for women. But really cool to see AU here in Nashville and what it's bringing to the community. It's just cool to see little girls like excited and getting to shoot on the court during intermissions, and I'm thrilled to see people get excited about women's athletic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. And it was cool. You had players that had played college ball at Duke, UConn, Minnesota. I mean, it was, there were some of these players we've seen, but I didn't really realize they were in the league. So we were like, oh, dang, that's so-and-so. Dang, that's so-and-so. They had DJ playing music throughout the game. Like, it was just a different kind of atmosphere than your professional, WNBA game. But that's what made it fun. It's the athletes were, you could hear them talking, they had passion. They were out there competing. They were making it fun for all the fans. And again, yeah, we were so close to the action and the play. It was different and it was super cool. And I think that'll continue to get better and better. And excited that they already announced that Nashville will host again next year. So we'll definitely look forward to going to that again.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in. We've got a few top fives we're going to go down. Just kind of some random thoughts. I mean, obviously, March is here. So it's March Madness. And we just decided, all right, let's jump right in, make early predictions. We're going to pick the top 5 men's teams that we think have the best shot at winning the title. And we're also going to share our top 5 women's teams who has the best chance of winning the finals as well. Shira and I did not talk about this before, so I'm curious. I think mine's going to be a bit of a surprise in a certain way, and I'll explain when we get there. But let's kick it off with sports. We'll save the workout songs. Let's start, since we're on basketball topic. Do you want to start men's or women's first?
Let's go women's. Why not?
But let's stay women's, since we're on that topic now. So what we're gonna do is top 5. So I'm gonna say my 5th team. I'm gonna work my way 5 to 1. So I'm gonna start with my 5th. I'll let you do your 5th. We'll do 4. So we'll do that. So my 5th team. So I'm gonna go with 5th best odds. Christopher's 5th best odds to win the women's natty. I got LSU.
Okay.
So Kim Mulkey, obviously they got a squad. They always do. they're not considered in that like top 3, 4. They're fighting for a 1 seed still. Um, but it's LSU and they're in the SEC and they're battling. They may not have Angel Reese, but they are still a very solid, scary team. So I'm not. They're my number 5 heading into the tournament.
Okay, I'll give you that. I actually did not put LSU in the top 5, and the reason I didn't is because Flage, she is actually out right now, and they just made an announcement today. I think that they need her leadership, and I think she runs the energy for them. So yes, they have some great players. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that without her, and I do not think she would not be in the to play in the NCAA tournament. But I think just
She
she
may
is
not be
their
the same coming back from injury.
deal breaker. So I actually don't have LSU. My 5th is Texas. I think Texas is very strong this year. But there's something about them that I haven't pinpointed why I don't think that they're gonna push through to the finals. They got the coin toss flip today. They got the 2 seed in the SEC for the tournament, but I'm just I think Texas is a 5 seed.
So
Or
you
5
went Texas as your 5th best odds.
5th best odds. Not a 5 seed, sorry. 5th best
Well,
odds.
I have them at my number 4. So I
Okay.
do have Texas as my 4th best team, 4th best odds to win the title. I absolutely hate it because I hate Texas. I can't believe it's their first year in the SEC and they've done what they've done in football. Thankfully, men's basketball, they've kind of fallen off the last few weeks. So they can suck and I'll be happy about that. But the women's team, like they're legit.
They're solid. They've got guard play. They've got great post play. I think that there's just something that I can't figure out. I can't pinpoint what it is, and I know that sounds silly, but it could be chemistry. And maybe they're picking it up. I think it has gotten better throughout the season, and I mean they only have like 2 or 3 losses anyway. So I mean,
yeah,
they're
and
very strong.
they're number 1 in most of the polls.
Yep,
So
they are.
and maybe they should be higher on my list. I just hate Texas, so I'm gonna keep
One of
them
my
at
reasons.
number 4 for now. But who's your 4th team?
Okay, I love this team. I think they're an underdog. And I love this school from what they've come from last year into what they come from this year. It's TCU. If you know anything about them, last year they were literally, or the year before, they were looking for open tryouts for people to join their team. And I believe, their record this year, I think they have 3 losses. It is awesome to watch a team come from not having enough players to being incredibly successful. The people that are on that squad are some elite level players. And I think that they have the guard play with the lit, and then again they have the post play. I think they have one of the best post players in the game right now for women's athletics. And so I just love see the grittiness of a team. So I think they're a sleeper.
Yeah, what's funny is I have them at number 6. When I was
Okay.
making the top 5, I was like, there's a dark horse. I think it's TCU because Haley Van Lith and their squad, I mean, they're legit. They're scary. I don't think anyone wants to see them in the tournament. They're probably going to be 3 seed, 3 or 4. They may sneak up to a 2 seed when it's all said and done, but they're scary. I don't think teams want to see them.
They're 19-0 at home, so that's a good fact right there. To know that
Incredible.
I
Yeah.
mean, from where they've been, they were literally picking up volleyball players to play last year,
Yeah.
which is not a dig at that at all. That's just incredible because of the athletes, but they did not have enough people on their team. So
Yeah.
this is a cool opportunity. I'd love to see them make it to the Final Four for sure.
Yeah. They're staying healthy this year. That's great.
Yeah.
It's part of
Yep.
part of what you got to do to win it all, and they're staying healthy. So,
Okay, what's your
good pick.
3?
My 3, USC, for the sole fact of Juju Watkins. She
Okay.
is legit one of my favorite players in the world, men's or women's. She is a baller. She's only a sophomore, but she can flat out play. Basketball is one of those sports too. If you are a superstar, you can carry a squad. Caitlin Clark did it. Angel Reese did it. There's another player everyone knows I'm going to mention here coming up. She can do it, but Leah Boston. Like these players are just they're on another level, and Juju is one of the best we've seen in a long time. I mean, you're talking like Candace Parker type skill, like she is commanding that much attention. So my number 3 is USC because of Juju Watkins.
Okay, well, my number 3 is UConn.
Right.
UConn is always going to have UConn is going to be UConn. Don't get me wrong. I just they just don't have what they used to have for me for some reason. I do think that they have come a long ways this year, and I think they look better than they've looked in a long time. They look like the old UConn. But just for the reason, I just don't think that they have the it factor this year. I'm gonna say UConn's my 3.
How disrespectful you are to
You're gonna
Paige
die.
and Gino. We'll
I
get there,
know.
though. We'll
I
get
know.
there, though. This
I
is
just
why
think
we're in separate
it's
parts of the house, because
where's their parts
that's
of the
an
house. That's right.
awful take, but we'll go with it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Number
Well, what's
2. Wait, do you want to add something?
okay? Well, no. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Number 2, my number 2, South Carolina.
Okay.
Dawn Staley is the best coach in women's basketball right now. Gino's been there. Mulkey, she's been at the top recently, but Dawn Staley is on top of the mountain right now. They lost a lot of talent last year too, but they are gritty. She coaches them hard. They have reloaded, and they are right there at the top again. Gonna be a 1 seed, and nobody wants to see South Carolina. So South Carolina is my number 2, best odds to win the tournament.
Okay. Fair. I love that. I think it's good. My number 2 is Notre Dame. This really hurts me because I really wanted to put USC in the top 5 for me. I'll just give you a little sneak there. Especially them beating UCLA. They're the 4 seed. They were yes, I think that Juju Watkins is probably one of the best players, or is the best player in the country. She bodies up people. And honestly, I haven't seen a girl body up like that. To take the ball to the rim. As strong as her in a long time. I just love her energy.
She is so athletic. So athletic.
Probably one of the best athletes of, like you said, of the century. But I just think overall, I just think that the teams are Notre Dame is just too good. They have too good of players that just dominate their team, and I would not want to see them. They also play great defense, and I've just seen them.
They do.
I just enjoy watching really good defense. So I'm gonna go. My number 2 is Notre Dame.
Yep, Notre Dame was one of those
in there. I would love to see somebody new that's not been like a 1 all the time.
Yeah. No, Notre Dame was right there in my list that I was making too, and I was like, they probably deserve to be in this top 5 discussion, but I don't know. I lean towards the superstars a little bit more come tournament time, and they're a great team. Like that's probably why they probably.
See, I think they have superstars. That's the difference between you and I. I think they have 2 superstars. They also just beat the dog out of Louisville today, so
yes,
I'll give that.
No, yeah, I mean, and we're gonna look back on this, and they may sweep right through the tournament. I mean, they're great. No doubt about it.
I think I always say her last name wrong. Hannah Hilogdo. She is just a phenomenal player, and then they also have Olivia Miles. Like I said, those are 2 superstars to me. And watching them play, they play defense, they play offense. I think that those are 2 superstars for sure.
Yeah. No argument there. They'll be exciting. My number 1, it's a given. If you know anything about me, Paige Bueckers all day. She needs this. She's had injuries. They've been close. Like you said, UConn has not been at the top of the mountain in recent years. A lot of that's had to do 2 injuries, to Paige specifically. But she's back to being herself. I think they're hungry. I think they're motivated. You have teams like LSU, South Carolina, like they're still, kind of figuring it out. Like they're good, but they don't have like that staple piece that they've had in the last couple of years. Texas, like you said, like they're good, but like we're still kind of iffy on them. Notre Dame, like they're right there, but UConn, Paige, it's her year. She's going to go out on top. I'm hopeful that I'm going to have a jersey show up before the tournament starts. I'm going to be
Sounds like
rocking that on
like
the
we're in the
podcast.
opposite roles here. Like, oh, I'm waiting for something to come. Please give me a gift. Please give me. Yeah, right.
Hey, Paige Baker's UConn is my number one team. I think they're going to win the national championship on the women's side.
Okay, I love that. I love your energy on her. I do agree. Like her injuries, I feel for her. I empathize with her. Um, but I am going to go back to the number one, South Carolina. I picked them heads and tails. Best coach. Love her energy. Love what she's brought to women's basketball. Love what she's brought to women's sports. But I also think they have one of the best players that have made the most best player development over the year. And I saw this a couple days ago. They were talking about Chloe Kitson, how she is, again, they are so loaded. Don't get me wrong. The whole bench is loaded. You have an all-star from Arkansas that sits on the bench, like for them, like that's how good they are. But she last year could not body up on anybody. She was on the ground a lot. She was, got called for fouls that she shouldn't have committed. She must have got in that weight room. I don't know what she did, but kudos to her. She is strong and she is taking the ball to the rim very well this year. It's fun to watch her defensively too. And she's beating people up and down the court, which last year she was like sometimes the last one on the court. So I just see improvement in her, and I think she's the it factor for them this year because she plays a little different than anybody else on that team, and she's gritty. So I just love that.
Yeah. No, you're right. And last year she really didn't probably have to be the leader or have to do as much.
Right.
But you're right. Like the fact that she's grown into that and has taken control of that role, it's impressive. Yeah, they're leaning on her. She was fun to watch last year, just kind of like figuring it out.
Yep.
And yeah, now she's taking the next step. And again, South Carolina, yeah, right there. They could be. And I just love Dawn Staley. Actually, fun fact, when Arkansas was looking for a coach, when Eric Musselman left, I legit said, like, let's go get Dawn Staley. Like, before we got Cal. I just think it's a matter of time before someone like a Dawn Staley. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time before someone like Dawn Staley is coaching a men's team because they command so much respect. Someone like her, that's just Kim Mulkey. Like those are personalities, Gino, that could, I think, coach men. I know if Dawn was yelling at me, I'd be like, whatever you say, let's go. Like they're just, they're that good. So, but yeah, I was like, hey, Arkansas, go get Dawn Staley. Let's make a move here. But no, good. I think our lists are good. I think they're all legit teams that have a legit chance to win the titles. So when we come back here in like 5 weeks when the tournament's done, we'll kind of rehash what went down and see who was right. Maybe one of us was right. Maybe neither of us was right. So
let's shoot over to the wins because I think this one's a little controversy too. You go with your first for your fifth.
Cool. Yeah, because I really think we're going to have way different top fives here on the men's side. Because I'm just going to start it off like everyone's high on the SEC. The SEC is probably going to get 12 or 13 teams in the tournament. I don't have that many in my top five with a legit chance to win the tournament. We may be opposite there, maybe the same. I don't know. But my number 5 is Michigan State. Okay. Tom Izzo doesn't have many seasons left of high-level coaching, probably. But his squad plays tough basketball. And if there's anybody out there, Tom Izzo is one of those where you can come in with a team that has some question marks, but when the tournament hits, yeah, they've had an upset before where they lost, first round. But there's something about this team where they're gritty. They're gritty. They're tough. That's a Tom Izzo team. And Michigan State's always one of those where you're like, they could go all the way or they could lose early. But I have a feeling they're going to make a run in the tournament.
Well, you will be surprised. I will just give it away. I am SEC heavy. But I definitely have Michigan State as my number 5 as well. I was between them and Duke as my 5. And I'm with you. I think Michigan State is gritty. Tom Izzo is a great coach. They're set up for success. They're playing their best ball right now. And so I think that's something that I'm excited to see as they go into the tournament. But I am with you. They're my 5 because they can lose first round. That's the team that they are. I don't think they're that this year by any means, but that's a possibility. I think Duke, the reason I don't have Duke, I don't have Maryland on my list either. And then there's another school, I'll tell you why I don't have them in a minute, is because I do think that they can lose first round, and they show some signs of weakness that make me feel like they will not be a top 5 team.
So we got the same number 5. Interesting.
Number 5, that's a first.
Interesting. Right. Okay. Number four, St. John's. Rick Pitino, kind of like Tom Izzo.
I love him too.
Not many seasons left, and he admits this. He's like, "Yo, we got to win now." Like he's already said too. Like I'm not recruiting high school players. I'm hitting the transfer portal because like we don't have time to spare to win games and be elite. So the videos of his locker room speeches and the way he's talking to the players. I mean, he is hungry to win a title there, and their whole program has shifted. And it's St. John's they may be my favorite team to watch right now, period. So Absolutely. I'm excited to see what they do.
I love them too. I love him too. And again, he has a controversial past, but I will say how he is coaching right now might be some of his best coaching that we've seen. What he says to his players to get their attention is what we need I think a lot of times, he just says it, like, get it together. Like this is why you're distracted. And his locker room speeches are incredible. So I think I think we're seeing also, he's not probably got 10 years left in him. So we want to enjoy the best we can with those coaches for sure. Cool. All right. My 4, this one, and I did not put St. John's in mine either. And I'll just be really honest. I'm nervous about them, but they also could win the whole thing. So that's how I kind of feel about them. My 4 though is Florida. I think Florida is very scary. I cannot figure out why they're so good. Like they do some things that they beat people, and I'm like, how did they just beat somebody by 30 points? They're streaky, they're scary. They were not that good last year, and they're one of those teams that I'm also like could lose first round. So just putting it out there, or they could win the whole thing. So Florida's my 4.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Florida is not in my top 5. They keep winning games. I can't figure them out. And so that's feel
why
like
they're in my top 5 is because they keep winning games, and they're winning games that they should not win by 30 points. So I'm just like, okay, there's something about this team.
To me, they just remind me of a team that does this kind of regular season thing where they win these games and they lose first round to a 15 seed. You're like, they were going to be the team to blow it in the first round. So that's just the take on. Again, they may go to the Final Four. I don't know, but
a while since Florida's had success too, to be really honest. And I just think this team shows something different than they've been showing for the last 5 years.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's go to number 3.
Okay.
My number 3 is Houston. Kelvin Sampson. Tough, gritty defense. They play hard all 40 minutes of the game. He's probably one of the most intense coaches in the country, too, where he's kind of like Pitino and Tom Izzo. Not a ton of seasons left to coach. So he's just hungry to win a title, and they've been so close the last few years. And their squad just plays hard. I think they're going to just out hustle teams. And they do it already, and I just think they're just going to continue to get better and better as this tournament gets here. And I think they're one of the scariest teams to see.
Cool, I agree with you on that. I'll tell you where I put them at next. But my 3, this one pains me a little, not because I don't like this team. I wish they were 2 or 1, but my 3 is Tennessee. I also absolutely not just because I'm in Nashville, not because we live here. I love Tennessee. I love their coach. I love how he treats his players. He has just this special connection with them, and you can totally see it. There's a lot of respect there. I also think they're streaky, and they can lose a game. They can lose first round, and they can blow somebody out. But I think they have the leadership of Zakai Ziegler. I think they have some really great players that have matured over the last couple of years that are now like shining, as we saw yesterday's game against Bama. And they also they need one. They need a one. So I love watching them play. I love the energy that they have, and I think they're getting deeper and deeper on their bench, which is kind of fun to watch as well.
Yep, they're one of those teams that they're so good, but they never get over the hump. So
Yep.
until they
I'm
actually
ready for them to
do,
get over the hump.
yeah, until they actually do, it's hard to pick them to win it all because you just know history that they just don't do it. And they've shown this year when they've lost games. You're just like, what are you doing? Like,
Yep.
you're better than that. But we'll see. Maybe this is the year. You're right. Rick Barnes, the players love him. The
Yep.
fans love him too. They're craving to get over that next step, and we'll see if they
He's the
can do
coach
it.
you want to win. You want to watch him win. You want him to be
Yeah.
successful. And I just love watching his demeanor and how he coaches his players. So I'm a big Rick Barnes fan as well. So my 3 is Tennessee. Who's your 2?
My two. You still haven't heard me mention an SEC team yet, but my number 2. This is painful too. It's Duke. Cooper
Yeah.
Flag is kind of like Juju Watkins. Like Cooper Flag can carry a team, and they got more than him at Duke. But Cooper Flag is incredible. As a freshman, he's playing like he's LeBron James out there. I mean, the
How
dude
long is he?
flies
17
around.
years old.
He was 17. He's 18 now.
Okay, like unreal. Like he plays like he's a grad,
Yeah.
and he's also just for a freshman strong. Like he is
Yeah.
strong.
He's a
We don't.
highlight. His dunks, I mean, he plays so hard. I mean, threes, dunks, up and down the court, defense, offense. Like he is the leader of Duke's team
Yep.
as a freshman. And
A complete
we've seen,
package.
yeah, we've seen a lot of freshmen be good, go to the league, whatever. But like he commands the ball. Like he is what makes Duke go round. And there's a connection between him and coach, and there's just something special there. I think they won their 17th conference game this week. I mean, they are playing hard. They're motivated. I hate Duke, but they are my number 2 best odds to win the tournament.
Okay. My number 2, I am SEC heavy, but is Auburn. My number 2 is Auburn. I do not have Bama in here, by the way. There's a reason I don't have Bama in my
I don't
top
either.
1.
I don't either.
I can't stand watching Bama play for some reason. I actually think you think Bama's cocky. I actually think Auburn is way more cocky than Bama. And actually, they have a right to be cocky, don't get me wrong. But some of the things that they do and some of the disrespect, I feel like they have a little bit too much, like they have a little bit too much disrespect or a little bit too much edge in a way, I guess you could say. I watch them kind of do some dirty things to some coaches and like kind of look like steer coaches down this year. And like, I mean, I know they're playing and having a good time and the coaches could care less, but when they're steering Coach Cal down, like, come on now. So I lost a lot of respect for that team, and it came back to bite them in the butt, too. So I kind of feel like they are a little too cocky for their own good. They are very good. I'm not going to take away that they probably are the best overall team. Somebody said the other day, I think on SEC Network, that they could like forfeit the rest of their games and still be a number 1 seed. Probably, yes. Like I get it. They're deep on the bench as well, but that part of their game drives me nuts. And I kind of like love the energy that their coach gives them, but at the same time, I just think that they're a little too cocky. I think they could lose first round even possibly. Like they could be one of those kind of teams that I'm saying it. They are
You
so
heard
cocky.
it here first.
They are so
Potential
cocky
first round
that they
upset.
could lose a game. They've done it before because they overlook a team because they think they're so good. They are athletes. They're very talented. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Well, they're
I'm
my
gonna start
number 1.
getting more.
They're Auburn is my number 1. Clear. Bruce Pearl, Janai Broom. I mean, their squad is dominant. Yeah, like you said, I think Joe Lenardi, he's like, they could lose the rest of their games, or they could forfeit them, and they're still going to be the number 1 overall seed. Like, they've been that good. I don't know if we've seen a team as dominant as them on the men's side in recent years.
We
And you're right.
haven't. We haven't, probably.
Yeah. I can't put a team ahead of them based off what they've done so far and what they're continuing to do. And Bruce Pearl, as motivated as they come. And he's also one of those coaches, he's hard not to root for and hard not to like. For me personally, anyway, I love Bruce Pearl. I hate that we played against him because you just kind of like him. You like his intensity. You like he's sweating. I mean, he's like Bowser out there. Just he's always
Or he's a Bowser
yeah
for sure.
yeah. He's just bumping
I'm with
guys.
I'm with you on it. I think you got a good point there. Um, I did not go with the team. Who do you think I picked as my number one?
Well, you Florida, Tennessee. You don't have Bama. Auburn's not there.
It's a
Wow.
very
I
Shire team. It's a very Shire team.
have no idea.
I picked Houston. I
Oh
think that
yeah.
they are the best athletes as a full team. They are the best athletes. They play as a team. I love their coach. He deserves it. It's time for him to win one. They've had some like real heartbreaks over the last few years, like some real heartbreaks. I want them to be successful, and I would love to see them just fly through the NCAA tournament and make it to the finals and win. And they can shoot, but the best thing that they do, they body up on defense and they rebound so strong, and
Yep.
they are scary. And I think a team like that can win this year over a team that's a great shooting team. And the reason I say that is because there's a little bit of edge in those kinds of teams. And this is a team that's hungry, and they pretty much have like the most solid five I think you could really put together. They play for each other, and yeah, I'm going Houston.
The way that Kelvin Sampson coaches, it's kind of like Eric Thomas used to say, like when you're underwater and you can't breathe, like you want to succeed so much that you're willing to drown and like you're gasping for air. And like the way he coaches, he is craving a championship so bad
Yep.
in the play. Like they play so hard. I no argument on your number one. I would love to see Houston win the championship just
Yep.
because of the way they play
Yep.
every week. They're fun. They don't take games off.
No.
Sure, they've lost a few, but they go hard every game and
They
they're
learn
fun.
from their losses too, is which I really have enjoyed watching them this year. They've learned from their losses. And they've had some heartbreaks too. So teams like that, like they get tired after a while and they want to win and they're not going to give up.
Yep. No, I
Cool.
think both of our lists are solid. I can't wait when we get through the Final Four to take a look back at our picks and see how they played out.
Yep.
uh, brackets and March Madness usually never go the way you
No.
predict.
No.
So maybe not a single team we put on our top five will be in the finals. It could happen that way, but we'll be excited to revisit these predictions and just kind of see how it all unfolds.
I love it.
Yeah. So so that's March. March Madness. So we can't wait. The women's SEC tournament starts this week. The men's SEC tournament is next week.
Yep,
And
totally.
obviously Selection Sunday 2 weeks from today. And brackets will be out. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about March Madness and picks and all that as we get closer. But honestly, kind of transitioning over. This isn't necessarily fitness or health. I don't know. I guess it could be a fitness or health discussion because it's music we listen to when we work
Yeah.
out or when we
Yeah.
run. Um, we did a top five. And again, these top five could probably change every 2 or 3 months for us.
Yeah, they change weekly for me, I'll be honest. But these
Yeah.
are like five that came to my head. Like I didn't spend like 30 minutes on this. I picked five that I would say like this song is probably in one of my playlists out of like my 15 playlist, if that makes sense.
Yes. Well, instead of going back and forth,
Let's
rattle
just
off your five. Yeah.
okay. And again, this is like there's so many out there that I listen to, and the other day I was running and I'm like, none of these are on my running list that I listen to, but these are the top five that came to me. So here we go. I'm gonna go with number 5 is Get It Right by Diplo. Love it. That is a gym song. You go to a CrossFit gym, you're probably gonna hear that song somewhere in a CrossFit gym, and that one always plays in my head. One of my favorites, it's like a theme song. Probably since I was a kid, but it's Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. Just that that beat gets me going every time. My number 3 is I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. So many reasons I love that one too, and that's on I think that song is on every playlist that I have. Just a good one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised by this one, but it is probably also on every one of my playlists. And it is not a rap song, but it's kind of like that vibe for me. Are You Ready for It by Taylor Swift? Like that's
Hey,
on every, I
speaking
mean,
my language.
if you're going to get motivated, that one seems to get it. And then my number one probably, and I kind of have a lot of old school stuff, but is In the Air Tonight with Phil Collins. And then like that one will always, you will go have a PR or you will go sprint. You'll be like sprinting when you're just running and that song comes on and you will do that. So that's the song that kind of gets you going. So those
Yeah.
are my top five. I have so many. I can't even I was like looking back and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot these people and I forgot this. But those are my top five right now.
It's hard to put a top five
Oh,
together. This is just kind of on the cusp. These are songs we listen to a lot.
just
This could
throw them.
change, within a couple
Throw
of weeks. But no, your top five is interesting. I can honestly say I wouldn't have guessed a single one of those songs was going on
Yep.
in your ears while we're at the gym or running. I would have no clue.
I've been
Um,
I've been on the Charlie XCX, like
I like
her
Charlie XCX.
love it. Great running music. That's been like what I've been to. And then I've also been running to Need to Breathe a lot. So I don't know if you guys listen to Need to Breathe, but anyways, those are mine. Those are just the top five that came to my head random.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. That definitely Charlie XCX is running music for me too on a lot of my playlists. But I'm gonna go through my top five. You might laugh
Okay.
at some, you might love them. I got "Quit" by Hardy. You know, I'm a huge Hardy
Yes.
fan, and when that song came out last year, like if you're starting hill runs, throw that song on, and yeah, F it, we're doing it. Like
Yep.
it's game on, workout time, time to go. Um, I got started from the bottom from Drake. It's a little bit older, but I remember, in college playing ball, we early morning workouts, they would crank that song up on the speakers while
Yep.
we're 5 a.m. running the stadium stairs. So that's just another song to me personally where I'm like, all right, time to go. Time to start working out. Number three, I got Numb Encore, Jay-Z, Linkin Park. That's kind of a
Good one.
staple.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
Every,
one.
gy- every CrossFit gym that you're probably going to, you will hear that song as well. I agree with you on that. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. Number two, Avicii, Levels. There's just something about that song. It's good when you're running. It's good
Yep.
when you're working out. If it's Friday night and you need some hype music before you hit the bars, you turn on Levels. It will get you going. It'll wake you up. So I'm a big Avicii fan. Big remix fan in general, but a big Avicii fan. He's probably my favorite DJ that I never got to see. He was kind of the one that I missed out on, unfortunately, but love all of his music. And then my number one, if you need me to hit a game-winning shot in beer pong,
I know what this is
this
going to
is who's coming on. If you need me to hit a PR, this is who I'm putting on the track. And it's Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj goes hard. And when her songs come on, I am locked in. And I got two songs only featuring Drake and Lil Wayne.
You only can pick five songs. I
No,
had
no, that only is my like go-to. Like again, beer pong,
okay.
sink it, Lipton. We go up is another one that hit my AirPods earlier today, and I was like, it's just Nicki in general. Throw on some hard Nicki Minaj, and
I'm with you.
I'm locked in when she comes on. So
Get your stuff out too. It's good for lifting and working out too. So
yeah,
we'll go with Nikki. She's always a good workout. She's always a good workout music for us for sure.
yeah,
Love it.
big Nicki Minaj fan. So no shame, I love it. There people who know me, they probably know when Only comes on, I'm locked in, baby.
Yeah.
Whatever we're doing, I'm
I'm
locked in.
so glad that Higher Love was not on there. I just want to say that really quickly. I'm so glad because if I have to hear you sing that one more time, I will like poke my eyes out literally with my finger. Oh, yeah, I can't. I love that song and it's ruined. I'll never enjoy it again. I'll never enjoy it.
Oh,
See you saying it.
it's in the top of my playlist for sure.
Yeah. I
But
will
it's in the top.
soon because we will probably have new songs and it's good to share. We love fitness. We love working out. We actually had a really fun week of working out. The weather's getting better, so we were able to do some of our hill runs again, which if you guys live in East Nashville or live in Nashville at all, you know that the hills here are no joke everywhere you go. So we've been able to get outside a little bit. We've had some great lifts this week. So I'm thrilled to share, like, you got to have some good music when you're working out. So we'll
Yeah.
try to be motivated to as we move forward throughout this summer and everything too.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Kind of fun fact, back when like Twitter was early stages, I don't know why, I used to do like a song of the week on Fridays. And my buddies thought it was so annoying, but I just would be like, yep, here's my song of the day, here's my song of the week. And no, we'll do some of that because it is fun. People give us recommendations. I try to listen to them. I got, people, a lot of guys I've worked out with over the years, they send me songs. So yeah, we'll keep that kind of a constant
Love it.
conversation as we go. But no, I say before we wrap up, I know we've talked about we're gonna have a full on episode of you and what you've gone through and we've gone through over the last couple of months from a health standpoint, and just if you want to give kind of a high level overview of like what's happened, and then we'll obviously go deep dive on a full episode because there's so much that we've got to cover from what's happened over the last couple of months.
That's a really good call out, Chris. And I think this is one of the reasons, like, we started this podcast, not the reason we started this podcast, but kind of like kicked us into full gear, is our passion for taking care of ourselves, health, wellness, and loving people. Like, we love people. We want to share the fun with you guys as well. What's going on in our crazy world. Or maybe it's not that crazy, but we enjoy life. And so we want you to enjoy life too. And so we just want to give you something fun to listen to. But yeah, we were going to actually do a full podcast on our current situation, what's going on with my health. But we're actually waiting on some test results, and we're hoping to get those back within the next 7 days. So once we get those back, we want to give you like the full Encompass story. We don't want to like leave you hanging and not give you the right facts, because if you've been sick or been in the been anything medical related recently, like, it's hard to decipher what's true, what's not, what you need to be doing, without being like, I feel like on the crazy side, and then on the crazy like doctor side too, where it's like too much information. So we've been really working hard, praying, working through, learning, educating ourselves. But back in December, I got really sick right before Christmas. I started with some very weird symptoms, like a sinus infection that I get every time this time of year. Really couldn't kick it. And to make a really long story short, which we'll share more of, I ended up where I couldn't walk and I couldn't see. And I ended up in the emergency room for about 4 days in ICU, and I was diagnosed with type A flu, which, if anybody's had the flu, and I've talked to so many people this year, it is no joke. Like, it can get healthy people, it can get unhealthy people. It's just one of those, it is nasty. But I also was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I'm 38 years old, so it's very rare to be diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at my age, and we're still working through that diagnosis. But what we do know is at the time, my pancreas was not producing insulin. I'm not insulin resistant, so not type 2, but I'm not producing insulin. And so we're really focused on diet, exercise, even though I'm not a type 2, to cure this, because we are trying to find out if it is an autoimmune disease. And if it is, we are a game plan and we have ready for that. We have a great doctor. If it isn't type 1 diabetes, what is our next step? And then if it is, or basically if it is a type 1 diabetes route, we have a game plan either way with our doctor. So really excited to find out more information this next week. Doing a lot of testing, I said, but I think most importantly, I've had the biggest change for me, health and fitness wise, through this, and just the focus and some of the things that I've done that has changed my body. I was already a health nut, I think, to the point of like, I felt a little crazy sometimes. I'm like, I love fitness, I love nutrition, but what it's done for my body and what I've seen results and how I've been able to control and heal. And I think the key word is heal. And so I'm excited to share that with you guys as well. So that's more to next episode.
Yeah. Good news is we're a lot better today than we were back in December.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been, obviously, again, we're waiting on some tests, but you have been kicking ass in this thing and got us living right, eating right, focusing on things. We've always focused on it, but like even more just again taking it to another level in a good way, and just being mindful. And so hopefully, again, we've got some stuff coming up. Once we get all that kind of hashed out, we'll do a full episode so you can dive into just everything that's happened and give all the details. And because again, we have so many people that ask, and it's hard. And again, we appreciate it, but it's hard to keep everyone updated on what's going on. And we
Yes.
appreciate it so much to ask. I mean, people from work, our families, friends, like mean so much that we were, thought of, and then people checking in still. And so, yeah, we'll do a full on episode as we get through that. But no, babe, I think that's a great way to end this podcast. Yep. We did a lot. We talked about a lot. We've got a full week ahead, so we'll have plenty more to discuss as we get through. Again, hopefully Tuesday night, Arkansas versus Vanderbilt will be there.
Please win.
We need a dub. We need a dub. But no, babe, anything else you want to add before we jump off?
No, get your protein in this week. My goal, you'll hear about this a lot, but next week I'm going to talk about protein. Love natural protein. Get it in. That's all my goal for you this week. So if you are listening to us, get 30 plus grams of protein at every meal. You can do it. We'll talk more about how to do it next week and how I've been doing it. But that's my goal for you this week.
We'll end it there. Get your protein.